I'm now reading texts that talk about how you got a ride, how you knew you had that it was only 25, but I'm supposed to believe you that it's a $300 couch and not a $150 deal,
yes,
right?
Ma'am.
Even though right now I just caught you in a lie.
This is the plaintiff, Mary Love. She says she sold her couch to the defendant, a co-worker, and the defendant didn't pay her, and they both got fired from their jobs because of all the drama the defendant created. That's right, the defendant owes her $1,300, or all she's now out, and she thinks the judge is definitely going to rule in her favor today because the defendant is just plain wrong. This is the defendant, Passion Allen. She says the plaintiff is one of those impulsive, impatient people. And even though they worked out a payment plan for the couch, she changed their deal because all of a sudden she was in a big rush for her money. She disrespected her with other co-workers, made their business public, and lied to management saying she threatened her. And if anyone's owed money today, it isn't the plaintiff. She's accused of couching issues. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Love and Ms. Allen, the two of you worked together at a hotel chain, and you were moving out and needed to get rid of a couch?
Yes.
You were interested in the couch?
Yes.
Okay. How much were you selling the couch for?
$300.
How much did you agree to sell it to her for?
$300.
According to you, that's not true.
Yes, she told me that she was going to sell it to me for $150, as well as other people that we worked with.
Okay. So now you need the couch taken out of there. You go over and pick it up without having paid anything?
Yeah, she told me that because she was in a rush to move out, she was moving in with her daughter, from what I recall, and the couch was the only thing left to move. She said she just wanted it out. She needed it
out of there.
Yeah, she said she didn't want to just give it.
So what was the deal you were supposed to pay when then?
I told her I couldn't give her the first payment until 2 weeks after I got the couch because I do banquet serving, so I only work when there's events, and there wasn't really any events the next 2 weeks.
Okay, and was she fine with that?
Yeah, she said that was fine.
All right, and what happened?
That's not correct.
Oh, okay. What do you say the agreement was?
The agreement was that she was supposed to pay me 4 payments of $75 each. After the second week when she didn't pay me, I told her I needed my money, and she said she wasn't working. She wasn't working because she got into an altercation with one of the other girls and she wanted to quit. She wrote a letter to the boss asking to be taken off of the schedule. That's why she wasn't working. And I told her that's not my problem. If you're having a problem with someone else, I need my money for my belongings.
So you told her, well, that's not my problem and I need you to pay. Do you have any evidence that the agreement was $300?
In my text messages, no, not of the price. No, we verbally
and there was nothing in writing between you two about what the price was?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so go on.
So I let her come pick the furniture up, and it was a couch. It was a couch and a chair, the matching chair. It just wasn't the couch alone. I gave it to her because she said that she was getting ready to move into a place and she needed furniture. She didn't have any furniture for her and her son. So I knew that she was working, you know, those days and I would be seeing her. But as time went on, she wasn't coming to work at all. So I got a little frustrated and I went off, like, can I get my money? And she said yes. When I arrived at her house to pick up the first payment, she didn't open up the door for me. She sent me a text message and stated that the money was in the mailbox. It was only $25 in the mailbox.
How much did you think was going to be the $75?
$75, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And
did she tell you it was only going to be $25?
No, she did not. I called her.
Why was there only $25?
I have in text messages me saying that I was going to give her a $25 payment. She knew that.
May I see those text messages?
Yes, of course.
Did she know driving over there that it was only going to be $25?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see.
No, ma'am. That was the week before she was supposed to pay.
Just a second, ma'am.
Okay.
She says, come get the $25.
That was prior. I was coming to get $25 for my son one night.
Hold on one second. How many times did you drive to her house and get money from a mailbox?
Once.
Right. You have testified to me that you expected 75. That's what your complaint says, that you were shocked, that you paid more than 25 to get there in a taxi. I'm now reading texts that talk about how you got a ride, how you knew you had that it was only 25. But I'm supposed to believe you that it's a $300 couch and not a $150 deal.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Even
Yes.
though right now I just caught you in a lie about
no.
whether or not you took a cab there.
No, it wasn't. I got a ride there. I got an Uber ride there.
Right, you said that you got an Uber ride?
It was an Uber ride, yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find a ride. I can't walk in this weather. This is the same time. There's only one time you went to go get money. Why are you saying that you thought it'd be 75?
Because when I discussed it with her, she was supposed to have been paying me $75.
Yeah, I know that, but she texts you then, come get the 25.
That was after. That was days later. I didn't go get that money from her the first day. I went and got the $25
You're
to give
just
to my
yelling
son.
words that don't respond to me. I need you to listen to my question because it's real specific. I'm not going to get lost in just you throwing 50 words at me. Listen to my question. And your complaint, you said, I drove there to get 75 and I paid for a cab. That's your word, okay?
Uber, sorry.
I think we all know the difference between a cab and an Uber, but that's okay. Then I see the text that she told you, I've only got 25, come and get the 20. And you say, yeah, I got to get a ride, show me your Uber receipt. Open your Uber account. No, it's right in your Uber account. You think I don't do Uber?
I don't have an Uber. I don't have it.
Oh, well then how is it that you took an Uber with no Uber account? You have no receipt. You have no proof that it cost you 30, and she shows me proof that you knew you were only going to get 25. You think it's a little thing, but it's not a little thing because you have a deal to do a purchase for something with no written evidence of the deal. So it becomes important when there's a rift between you two about what it is that is owed, that I figure out who's telling the truth. And if I catch you in a lie like that, where you're trying to make the case better, then her argument, Judge, she's trying to make the case better, saying it's $300, starts to carry some weight, right? Now, she goes there, she gets the 25, and what happens the next day in text between you two?
The next day, she sits there and she sends me this long text about like how she doesn't owe me a thank you and I'm disrespectful. She doesn't owe me anything. And I completely agreed. Like, you're right. You don't owe me anything. I don't want no thank you from you or anything. I just wanted to know that you got it. So basically we got into that argument about that.
And it goes crazy. I'm going to make this easy for you. We can just settle it in court because you're not going to disrespect me. You felt she was disrespecting you because she had kind of an attitude?
Yes, ma'am.
You couldn't text and say you got it? I'm not worried. You're getting your money like I've been said. And then don't have to worry about me speaking to you ever again. What ends up happening? Which of you goes to management? Who went to management?
She ended up going to management. And
you say she went to management?
Management, human resource came to me. She called me and asked me, what is going on with you in Passion? I said, she's refusing to pay me.
So you think she went to them?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know a third party didn't go to them? Were you yakking about this at work?
No, I talked to friends of mine.
Yeah, maybe the friends went.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you do business with a coworker? Whether it's selling a car, a couch, doing whatever.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on the business, but coworker, you work with the coworker to begin with, so I guess it could be.
What's the downside to doing this? What's the problem of doing business with a coworker?
You could get in a fight and
And then what happens?
Could lead to issues.
It does lead to issues, right? Is she a friend of yours?
No.
Well,
We don't know each other.
she is right now, okay?
Yes.
You guys are friends.
Sure, yes.
Would you do business with her?
Well, if I've seen her work ethic and I feel like you're a hard worker, then yeah, we could.
Would you do business with her? Say no.
Of course I would.
Going inside the courtroom.
Did your work see the text between you two?
And that's where I tried to get an investigation going because when he tried to tell me that I was the one that threatened her first, I asked him if he looked in the text where she said, don't come back to work. He said, no, I didn't see that text.
Okay,
So I sent
everybody just hold on. So from you, okay, let me start this message over again because I don't think you understood what I was saying last night. You're very disrespectful in the way you talk to me. So I feel it's best that I just take this to small claims court because I'm not going to drag this out weeks in advance with you. The agreement was, oh, we do have in writing what the agreement was. The agreement was you give me 75 one week and 75 the next week. That's 150, that's not 300.
It was supposed to have been $300.
Then why did you, not her, why did you say the agreement was you give me 75 one week and 75 the next week?
Well, at that particular time, I don't remember exactly what was going on, but it was never 150.
Well, then why wouldn't you say the agreement was
and maybe
that
it was
give me
because
75 this week and 75 the next week and 75 the next week and 75 the next week? Why wouldn't that be what you said in your text?
Correct. I didn't say that.
That's so weird, though, right? Because if I sell something for 300, I know I sold it for 300, unless you sold it for 150 and you're committing perjury.
No, and I'm not.
Well, it's in your writing. It's your text to her. And then you say to her the following week, come and get a payment. Why does somebody have to go to your house to get a payment? Why aren't you just making the payments?
I said that to her because I hear from multiple coworkers she's disrespecting my child at work.
How?
And me. She's telling people my son, which it is in text, she's telling people my son's dirty. He's 2 years old. Saying about how I'm a bum that can't afford furniture. Mind you, I could have afforded furniture. I just wanted to get her furniture so I didn't have to go and buy furniture. And so I didn't feel like, yes, I owed her the money and I was going to pay that to her, but I didn't feel like I should have went out my way.
What did your job end up thinking about this?
We both don't have our job. It was wrong.
Oh, you both got fired?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you tell her, bring your blank since you know where I live. Remember these words and you ain't getting a dime. And you're both threatening each other back and forth, and work did the right thing, firing both of you. All right, so what has been paid? Just the $25 and nothing else? Okay. You owe her the court finds that the deal was for $150, not $300, because the only evidence I have of it is from your words saying, the deal was you pay me 75 this week and 75 the next, period. There's a period after the sentence. So I'm going to deduct the 25 from the 150, and that means you still owe $125. As for pain and suffering, I think you both inflicted pain and suffering on each other. On your counterclaim, same answer to that. That's garbage. So $125 you owe her, and that's that.
So the plaintiff prevails, but not for what she was seeking, and Passion Allen has just come out of the courtroom. You still owe her $125.
Yes, I'm not happy. Actually, no. She does, she deserves that, but I still feel like I should have got a counterclaim because all this other stuff, but I feel like that was a good decision.
But you got the couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is going away. But
okay, good enough. Thank you very much. Well, it's your own, what you put on the phone, send her, your email, that's what cooked your goose as far as the 300. Huh? You don't get the 300.
Exactly, but I'm glad that I did win because I was rightfully owed that. So
was it worth it losing your job?
Actually, I didn't lose my job. I'm in litigation right now, and my job was rendered. Hers was terminated. So I'm fine with it. I'm back with the company, and I'm happy.
Okay, well, good enough. Good enough. Thank you
you
much. Congratulations. Okay. Harvey?
Doug, I got to tell you, I think it's really dicey to do business with somebody you know, not that you shouldn't, but if you do, get everything in writing. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case, you want to take a picture? Okay. On their way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Aisha Staves-Monsey. She says she rented a house from the intimidating defendants who threatened her and eventually evicted her. She had to hire a lawyer because what the defendants did was illegal. They still owe her money for her security, and she's here in the good name of justice, seeking the $2,850 she says she's owed. These are the defendants, David and Henry. David says the plaintiff was legally evicted because she was running an illegal business out of the dwelling. The plaintiff left trash, debris from the illegal business, and damage to the driveway when she vacated, and they simply don't owe her a penny. They're accused of being mean landlords.
All parties, please use your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rented a house from the defendants and claims that they threatened to wrongly evict her. But the defendants say the eviction was on the up and up and the plaintiff was running an illegal business at the house. It's the case of eviction affliction.
Okay. Can you step to the left a little bit because you're right. Also, can you take your sunglasses off? Thanks. Okay, Ms. Staves-Monsey, you were renting from B&B Investment?
Yes.
Was there ever a lease?
Yes.
May I see it?
I do not have it.
Do you have a lease?
I have the second lease, the first lease. And the second lease kind of explains what the first lease included.
Well, how much was the security deposit?
It was $1,000 deposit and $950 for the first month's rent, or the last month's rent.
So it's $1,000 security deposit and $950. You lived there for how long?
5 years. Actually, 4.5 years. Would have been December if I wouldn't have got illegally evicted. So yeah, December.
Okay. Now, when you say you were illegally evicted, what does that mean?
Well, he filed an illegal eviction on me, like
how
a
so?
3-day
What made it
notice.
illegal?
Well, he said that I was non-compliant with the code enforcement.
Because?
Because my son, he says that my son was operating a mechanic shop within the home.
Chop shop?
Yeah, no.
In front, working on cars in front of the house?
Yeah, he was working on motors in the garage.
And why did he say that? Do you know?
Because it was new neighbors that moved in 2018. And of course they complained about my son being outside.
To who did they complain?
To the code enforcement.
And code enforcement then issued warnings to them. So what is illegal about the eviction?
The eviction was, the reason why they said it was illegal was because I did not pay rent, and I paid rent. But then he changed it once he got to court with his attorney.
That's not an attorney.
Well, that's what he represented himself in June. And my attorney—
To the court?
Yeah.
No.
My attorney verified it.
No, Your Honor, never.
Yes, he was his co-defender or what representative, because I had an attorney.
Well, but did he say I'm an attorney?
Yeah, that's what my attorney informed me. Well, he's here with his attorney, and I would look down and I was like, well, this looks like the guy that's been walking around my home. Like, who is this? Because I have cameras. My son put cameras up. And so we were like, why does this guy keep coming up to the house? He's coming there. He's not leaving notes. He's just looking to see what's going on. So when we got to court June 1st or June 3rd to contest the eviction, we saw him.
Well, what happened at that contest?
Well, it was dismissed due to the terms of me moving out on August the 31st.
That's called a settlement. That's not
it was a settlement,
right.
But he said that if I didn't sue him for my attorney fees in court in June, that he would allow for us to stay to August the 31st.
So then why are you suing for attorney's fees today?
Well,
because he allowed you to stay, and you stayed a day later, and then you're suing him for the attorney's fees today, too.
The only reason why I stayed a day later was because Mr. Henry refused to verify my rental history. And I have proof showing that the place where I rented to was trying to verify rental history.
That's a you problem. Get out and go somewhere else for a day.
Which is true.
You don't get to stay a day.
It was a storm.
How many days past the agreement did you stay?
2 days.
Oh, well, you don't get to stay 2 more days there. You got to go couch surf.
Well,
because your agreement was to stop and listen. Your agreement was to leave a certain day, and you violated the agreement.
Well,
not they violated the agreement. He let you stay there until then.
Okay, well that's
and
fine.
the deal was that in return for that, you wouldn't seek your attorney's fees, and yet you've come here seeking $900 in attorney's fees.
Well, the only reason why I included that, because on his itemized billing, he's charging me $1,500 for attorney fees. Attorney fees for—
In his itemized billing, where?
This bill right here, the reason why he's keeping my deposit.
Okay, give me what you've got. So this is the document that you filed, the notice of intent, which Florida law requires, saying I'm keeping your security deposit and here's why. And in it you talk about, it's very hard for me to read this. Can I see the original?
Yeah, it's going to be just as bad.
Where's the original? Where are your leases? Where are your originals? Who do you save them for if not me? Where are they? Can't find them?
I went through a really nasty divorce, and unfortunately my ex-wife kept all my business documents.
Okay. Damages. $100 for garage cleaning?
Yes.
Pull the specific pictures of the garage cleaning out for me to look at.
So
is this garage cleaning, or is this what you meant?
So this was at the driveway.
Okay.
And we had a hurricane that was coming. So she moved the stuff back into the garage because she hadn't scheduled for the day that she was supposed to move out, or the day before she was supposed to move out when they do bulk.
So this is her garbage on September 5th. Which hurricane?
And
Dorian.
Dorian. What is this stuff? Is it just garbage?
Yeah, we cleaned out the whole house, painted, and it's just garbage that we were getting rid of.
Right, but why didn't you get rid of the garbage?
Because there was a truck. It's supposed to be a heavy duty. It was the first of the month, so that on Wednesday they come through with the heavy trash and pick up the heavy trash. Because of the storm,
either that or you can go to the dump, which is a pain. I know it's a pain to go to the dump, but there is another solution.
It wasn't
get your stuff out
but
in time.
I had already scheduled for the dump to come pick it up, like
3 days into September. Like, let me just tell you how it's supposed to work. This is what other people do. They're supposed to be out a certain day, then they get out a certain day. And that may include inconvenience to you, which means that you got to go to the dump. You understand? In any event. You were also keeping $1,500 for the driveway repair. Who wants to talk about that?
The driveway was damaged for the
First, I'd like to see the pictures of it. So I'd like to see before and after pictures to see if it was damaged or it came damaged.
Well, I don't have a quote-unquote before picture.
From 5 years ago. We don't have that, Your Honor.
But when I
you should always, as a landlord, let me just tell you, that particularly because your phone takes pictures, you should always have pictures of the way you hand a place to a tenant so that you have the comparison to show that, hey, they damaged it.
Here's the other picture.
I wonder what on earth even caused that, because it's not a car that caused
it. Was on
that
blocks.
Was from blocks and them working on the cars, and we have several days of surveillance with photographs documenting that.
Do you have surveillance photographs that show blocks on this part?
You can see the cars. I don't know if you, I'll show you the photographs.
Let me see them. You have pictures that you say are from when you moved in, and you are saying that this particular, because I want to show you the particular damage we're talking about. That's the damage we're talking about. You see what part of the house that is? Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you suggesting that that was that way when you got the house?
Yes.
So this is the one picture that you're talking about that, according to you, shows the cracks they're talking about. Certainly shows cracks in the driveway in a lot of places. All right, so now you're also asking for $1,500 in legal fees on what, on the eviction?
I retained.
Why did you just point to him? You retained him to what?
I retained him to go do surveillance and try to help me solve the 9 different code violations.
Okay. When you say resolve the code violations, are you out any money because of it? Like, did they fine you?
They did not fine me anything that I had to pay.
Okay.
But to also to get her evicted, I had to hire this gentleman to help represent me for.
He can't represent you in an eviction.
Yeah, he can.
Can you? Because last I heard, that was a lawful practice of law in the state of Florida, because I'm from Florida.
I'm not representing him. He hired me.
He just said he hired you to represent him.
But to try to resolve the problem, I think the first thing I did was...
Did you say I am representing him when you got to the court?
No. No, Your Honor.
He thinks you're representing him.
I never represented myself as an attorney.
Look at him. He's in shock. He's like, I thought he could represent me. That's what I hired him for. How much did you pay him to represent you in court?
Well, not to represent me in court, to try to resolve the problem.
Okay. Yeah, now you know what the company line is? All right.
But
what is blind? Stop. What is this blinds? Is that the other word here? Blinds?
Yes.
$20? Okay. And then I don't know what this says. Oh, lawn.
Yeah,
lawn.
there was a lawn maintenance issue with the also in non-compliance as well.
Are you saying that you had to pay for the lawn maintenance between July and August?
Yes.
No, listen, I want you to stop talking, and I want you to talk. This is your handwriting, right?
I can't even see that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You made me take my glasses off.
No, I thought you knew I was reading your notice of intent to keep the security button.
I did.
That's you.
That's
okay,
correct.
So what did you mean when you said lawn maintenance July and August? You paid in July.
Yes.
And you paid in August. So she's
Correct.
still living there and you're paying for lawn maintenance.
Correct.
Is she supposed to pay for lawn maintenance?
No, she's supposed to actually do the lawn maintenance, whether she pays it or not, pays somebody to do it or
right.
not.
So she's supposed to maintain is what I meant.
That's correct.
All right. His glasses are prescription, so you can't see, but why are they dark?
It's on the
because of our lights?
Lights give me
Make them dark? They're gradient?
migraine headaches.
Go ahead. You can put them back on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I do see proof that they paid.
Can I see that lease again?
Why don't you keep a copy of it, like, in a way that you can access it? But what is it for? Because she admits...
Because I wanted to show you section 15 that shows that she's responsible for any legal fees or any other fees that are reasonable in case of eviction or anything.
And you are correct about that.
Thank you.
Can you show me proof that you had $1,500 in legal fees?
beyond just the actual invoice that
what?
It's like a retainer fee.
From who?
From BNB to Jedburgh Group.
To who?
To Jedburgh Group.
Who's that?
It's my company, Your Honor.
Oh, so those are your legal fees?
Well, they're not legal fees.
No, right. They're not legal fees. Right.
Fees for
and
surveillance.
you're entitled to legal fees, not to hire somebody for unlawful practice of law. Okay? So no, you don't get legal fees, and you don't get to keep it for legal fees when you never went and hired a lawyer. It's one way or the other, pals. Go ahead. What were you going to show me? Where are the blocks? I don't see blocks.
On those pictures, there are not blocks.
Do you have any pictures that you said, what is the problem? You know I'm not going to let you make a statement to win your case that I'm not going to make you prove. You don't get to just flap your gums in my courtroom. Do you or don't you have a surveillance pictures where cars are on blocks?
So if you move into a place that has existing damage, how do you protect yourself so the landlord doesn't nail you for it when you move out?
I think when you move in and you see damage, for sure let the landlord know first, right away when you get there so that they know that it was there.
Okay, so you tell the landlord, and then when you move out 2 years later, the landlord says, you never told me that. What do you do?
Um,
Come on, there's an answer to this. Who knows the answer? Anybody? Okay, what's the answer?
We sue the guy.
Nope.
You file a law.
No, come on, guys.
Photograph.
Yes.
Take pictures, right?
Yes. Take a picture and then make sure that it's dated and everything, okay, next to a newspaper. Going inside the courtroom.
I never represented that I had pictures of cars on blocks.
Which of you on that side said there were cars on blocks?
The code enforcement officer told us when he was driving by the residence through the past year, the cars were up on blocks
Did he take pictures? Because that's normally what code enforcement does.
Don't know, Your Honor.
Let's talk about what's at play. You have $1,000 in a security deposit, and that other $950 is what?
It's supposed to have been last month's rent.
Right.
Yes.
Why would you ever have any right to that $950 when you ended up staying a couple of days in September?
Well, he doesn't have to. I paid him $950 in rent before I left.
For August.
For August.
Right.
So I wasn't really physically in the house.
I was
cleaning the house up and painting.
First of all, that's not even what you say in your own complaint. You mentioned that you couldn't move out. Yeah, you had to stay a few extra days. You don't get to stay a few extra days. And it's not prorated either. When you do that, you deprive that side of the opportunity to get somebody in there on September 1st. So that $950 is going to go for the last month's rent. I can tell you that right now, because there are consequences to overstaying and violating the agreement you had in the settlement, and that is that you owe another month's rent. Now let's talk about the $1,000. He is claiming parts of it for the landscaping. Who ended up taking all that garbage that was in the garage out eventually?
The neighbor across the street.
All right, so you actually paid the neighbor. What did you pay the neighbor? It says $100
Yes.
garage. Is that what you paid the neighbor?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then there are miscellaneous things that you say were broken. Do you have pictures of those?
No, I do not.
Okay. There's the driveway repairs, which you have a hard time proving. I'm satisfied by looking at the pictures of these cracks all over the place that you really have no idea if this, in fact, was done by her son. But in order to keep the money for $1,500 for a driveway, you've got to be able to prove that. You got $1,500 that you're claiming for legal fees, but you never hired a lawyer.
Well, actually, if I could say one more thing.
Yeah.
If the landlord employs an attorney or is forced to take legal action
Yes.
due to tenant's violation, the tenant shall be responsible for all costs and reasonable fees as incurred by the landlord.
You are correct that your lease says that there's a provision for legal fees if you have to enforce the lease there. So you are correct that there is a world where if you spend money on a lawyer and or you spent money on filing fees, that's something you should be able to recoup. But the thing is, you didn't have legal fees in this case. Those are legal fees in a different case. That's the actual eviction case. So you would have to go back to eviction court with good reason and say she violated the order, she didn't get out on time, so now I want my legal fees, whatever the court deems to be legal fees. Be real careful, because that judge may also not like the kind of specter smell of hiring a non-lawyer to represent you. But in any event, all right, so what are you getting? The $100 cleanup fee to get the junk out because she admits she never got it. The $125 for the landscaping, then the $75 Additional for the landscaping, that's $300. And then also, you know what's funny that you didn't list here, but I am finding that you're entitled to it. You didn't even claim for the thing that is most blaring that you're entitled to, which is the rent, but I'm gonna find that you're entitled to it because she violated the court order, the settlement agreement. So I find that you're entitled to the cleanup fee, the landscaping fee. So I find that you're entitled to deduct $300 from the $1,000, and I find that the plaintiff is entitled to $700. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff does prevail. She's not going to get what she was seeking, but $700 is not bad to get back from her. You got a little lesson in the law here today. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to have to do better documentation next time.
No question about that. Yeah. And you, sir, should have had better pictures of what you were looking for.
Well, we documented what we were looking for initially, and then the case turned into a damage case. So I think we did okay.
So for the private eye, you learned a lesson too.
Sure.
Good enough. Thank you very much.
Thank
you must sign some documents, gentlemen. Ms. Davis, Muncie. I'll get it right. All right. So you get $700 back. It's not $2,850 that you were asking for. But you learned a lesson too.
I did. I learned a very good lesson to make sure I continue to document everything while I'm living in someone else's home.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Good lesson to learn. Thank you very much. All right, Harvey.
Okay, I got to tell you something. It is critical when you move in. You're not looking for obvious damage. Look for imperfections, because when you move, believe me, if you move out and there's an imperfection that you didn't notice, landlord's going to dock you for it. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Robin Miracle. She says she hired the defendant to move some of her stuff into a storage unit, and the careless guy broke her 60-pound wooden jewelry box, denies breaking it, and refuses to discuss the matter. Well, she's not about to let this louse get away with damaging her property, then just ignoring her like she doesn't exist. So she's suing him here and now for $400, the cost of the box. This is the defendant, Matthew Walker. He says the jewelry box was taped together, and when he moved it, it was already broken. This woman's just trying to pin the blame on him unfairly. She complained about the damage 16 hours after the move, even though she was there supervising the move and didn't say a thing about any damages. Oh, her? No way. He's accused of denying responsibility.
All parties, please hit your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to move some stuff. Says the mover broke a 60-pound jewelry box. But the defendant says, not true. He didn't break anything. It's the case of disrespecting the family jewels.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Miracle, you are suing Mr. Walker's company, 2 brothers and a truck.
Yes.
Are there really 2 brothers anywhere there or no?
It's 2 bros in a truck.
Oh,
but
2 bros. So everyone's the bro. All right, 2 bros and a truck. Okay. For damaging some items during a move. When did you move?
I moved May 1st.
Okay. Did you notice right away that they had broken something?
No, I did not.
Okay. Were you present during the move?
I woke up during the night and I noticed that I couldn't see my jewelry box. And normally you would see it standing about so high. And I called my son and I said, "Where's my jewelry box?" And he said, "Mom, it's on the floor. Somebody broke the legs off."
Okay, so when the movers came to the new place, did they put things where they belonged? Like, did they put, this goes in the bedroom, this goes in the whatever? So
Yes.
I'm just curious why you didn't notice that day.
You know, I think probably because I had so much going on.
All right.
And I didn't notice it until that night when I woke up.
Okay, so when do you contact them?
On May 2nd.
The very next day?
Yes.
And what did you say to him? Listen, your guys broke my
jewelry box.
And?
And he told me that I was crazy.
That you were crazy?
Yeah, I was crazy. My jewelry box was broken. And he told me, "Don't call me about this matter again."
Okay. Was that how you responded to a client?
No, I have the text messages right here.
Okay. And was it the very next day?
It was a few days later.
Let me see the text messages in your phone, not on a piece of paper where you've cut off the date. All right. So, first of all, you have her in your phone book as insane West Haven lady.
That was for me, Your
I
Honor,
know. Little did you know.
Yeah.
Right, but it kind of lends credence to her statement that you were disrespectful and called her crazy, but okay. The back and forth, don't call me again, happens on May 30th, a lot later. But I see you trying to reach him on May 4th. And I see you sending pictures later in the game on May 30th. I don't know if you had sent pictures early, but I don't think so, because you're taking these pictures and sending them and saying, please go through your insurance. He says, insurance doesn't cover furniture that's been damaged or broken prior to our arrival. What is your policy with your drivers on taking photographs of because that's this is like a really easy thing. It's the legs are completely broken. What I have seen movers do is just take their phone out and take a picture of it. Did you guys do that?
Well, they didn't break it in the first place.
Did you hear my question? What was my question?
Yes.
What was my question?
If they take a picture of furniture that they break.
No. Do they take a picture of furniture they don't want to be accused of breaking? That means when their eyes come upon something and a homeowner is saying, please move this item for me, and it is already broken, like you are claiming in this text your driver's told you, do you not have a protocol to have them take their phones out and snap a picture to show they didn't do it?
We do. However, there was a lot of broken furniture in the storage unit, and the claimant was there, and they had to...
I understand that there's a lot of packed stuff inside of the storage room that you're moving her from. By the way, you stated that there was a picture of that. Do you have the picture?
I couldn't find it. It's on a different phone.
Okay. So according to you, it's really, really packed, but you can't... And there's a phone somewhere that has proof of it, but you don't have it for court. I don't know why you take the picture. I'm the person you're trying to take the picture for. That's who I am.
How do you protect yourself from a moving company that might damage your property? Okay, sir.
My first option is always to sue them. It's the best.
Well, you could sue them. There's an issue there. How do you protect yourself?
I don't know. I just move myself. I do it. I'm strong.
So what'd you do? Oh, you did it yourself.
I would just move myself.
Anybody have an idea? Yeah. No ideas? Okay, going inside the courtroom.
According to him, there's a written contract. According to you, you never signed anything?
No, I don't recall.
Okay, is there a written contract?
Yes.
May I have the original contract? Not a picture of the contract,
It's
but
right
thank
here.
you, perfect. So usually on these contracts, they're all the same standard, well, that's why, Uniform Household Goods Bill of Lading. But there is gonna be that standard disclaimer of anything other than, unless she buys separate insurance, it's 60 cents a pound?
Right, Your Honor.
Did you buy separate insurance, ma'am?
No, I did not.
Okay. Your signature's down here. Tell me if that's your signature. And right next to it, not buried, anywhere else, but right next to it, it says, I hereby agree to give you my shipment for just 60 cents a pound unless I pick something else. And you didn't pick something else. So take a look at that. Because that means that no matter what, even if I were to find that they broke it, that it's $36. That's what you're capped at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can get it repaired for that.
I tried to repair it on my own.
Yeah.
And
Did
won't.
it fall?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks to me like the kind of thing that gets damaged during moving, I'll be honest with you. Who puts this tape on, you or them?
I did.
You did, right. And then you put another tape across it because you didn't want the jewelry box to open because you didn't take the jewelry out of the so you wanted all the drawers to stay shut.
It's still
And
in
then
there.
these legs, I guess the wood split.
Yeah.
And then the legs are just lying on top of it. That's how you find it?
Yes.
Yeah. If you go to move something and it looks like this, you should be noting it, right? So I don't think it looked like this. It's always relevant to me how late in the game they call, because the more time that passes, then the less you're able to prove that it was them and not maybe you guys in the middle of the move, because there's a lot of mayhem going on.
Oh.
But I think it was a pretty tight schedule. But you've got the much bigger problem, which is you're not going to get $400 because you didn't buy insurance for that.
Right.
You specifically agreed to the 60 cents a pound, which is the industry standard when you don't buy insurance. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I am going to find in your favor, but in the amount of $36. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff was suing for $400, but you signed a contract, and the judge's hands were tied in this case. Do you understand?
I do.
Did you realize that before you
No,
filed the lawsuit?
No, I did not.
You didn't look at the contract?
I didn't have a copy of it. I may have lost it.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, what are you going to do now? You're going to get $30. What, you're going to get a new jewelry case?
Not for $30.
$36, whatever it is. Yeah. All right, well, good luck to you. Sorry you couldn't prevail. All right, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Walker, did you know, obviously you knew the situation here, the contract was signed, you were really not obligated to pay more, right?
Right, yeah, she had forgotten that she had signed it. It's an honest mistake, and...
I guess the real question is, do you think it really was damaged by your guys?
I don't.
And the judge's suggestion to take pictures of something before, probably a good idea.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we usually do, but if the customer is standing right there and knows that it's broken and tries to blame
would have helped you
later-
here. Been great evidence for you. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep. Okay, Harvey.
The key to this is you take pictures of all the expensive stuff before the move to prove it was in good condition.